charter, but be sure to take responsibility for your own charter. But we ask you to pull your commissioner in for help as you hit obstacles, and just get our commissioners involved, because they're there to be coaches, mentors, and help you through the process. The other thing a commissioner is going to help with in Recharter is we want to make sure all the units earn free rank advancement. One of those requirements, we'll go over them later on, is that every unit needs to have a detailed assessment, and that's a great process to go through with the commissioner and plan for the upcoming year. So I'm going to hand over to Melissa, and she's going to cover what's new for this year.
All right, so we have lots and lots of new things this year. First and foremost, we don't have access codes this year. So it's going to be really important to make sure that you have the person that's processing your charter registered and listed in one of the positions that will be able to have access. So the committee chair, charter organization representative, unit leader, and the key 3 delegate, as well as the charter organization representative delegate, will have access. Those are the only positions that do get access. So if the person that is processing your charter is your membership chair for your committee, that's absolutely fine. You just need to add them as a key 3 delegate. It gives them the access level, and then they can go through and process the charter. If the person that's processing your charter is not at all registered with your unit, which happens occasionally, then you'll need to make sure to get them registered as part of your unit, or they won't be able to do it. Another big new thing is that paper applications, youth protection certificates, criminal background check authorization forms are all going to be able to be uploaded through the Recharter system. So you'll be able to select the person they're associated with and upload that stuff. And then you also will still be able to submit payment online. So that's not really new, but it's just continuing on there. Now the online process is only 2 screens. So the first screen will be going through all of the roster and the Scout Life subscriptions and updating positions and all of those things that were on multiple screens in the past. And then the second screen will just be your payment and your submission screen. So it will be very, very simple to be able to navigate through this time. There's also a change in the electronic authorization. So in the past, you selected which person you were going to, or was approving it, whether it was the IH or the charter org rep, and then it sent them an email saying your charter has been listed as approved in the online system. Now it's going to send everyone an email, and it's going to ask you to use Adobe Sign to approve it. There's also an auto post feature, which is a nice feature that will be available for units that have a pretty simple charter. If you're not adding anyone with a paper application, or updating a youth protection on paper, or paying at the council office, if you're not doing any of those things, then there's a possibility that your charter would be able to be auto posted. So once you submit it, it will just automatically go through the whole system, and your membership cards would be available significantly sooner than if it's not auto posted. There's also a feature now where before you'd have to go into other systems and other screens if you see that a scout or a leader is missing and you want to get them to fill out an online application. Now you can just hit a button that says add this person, invite them, type in their email address or the parent's email address, and it's going to send them an invitation to join your unit through the online system. And then once they've done that, you can just hit the refresh button and add them in. And then lastly, youth protection. This is new, where in the past, if you had someone who was updating their youth protection training, You would have to enter that date if it didn't automatically come through the system. Now you will not be able to enter a date, and instead you will need to upload a certificate. So we want to encourage everyone to have the youth protection updated through the MyDOT scouting system, and do the best that you can to make sure that everyone's got their membership ID number in their account so that it updates, because that'll help you with that auto post option. The other thing with the youth protection that you'll see later, or in the national video, that if you haven't already watched, I really encourage you to, that everything's on one screen, including there's actually a column saying the person has youth protection or it's expired. So you'll be able to just look in a glance for red or green and know if they're good or if they are in need of updating. All right.
So I'm going to cover a very important topic, which is youth protection. And we all know we're going through a lot of changes, and things are moving in a positive direction with the whole national restructuring and bankruptcy process. But this is really the key for us to just keep it as safe as possible for our youth going forward in scouting. So youth protection, we have some new enhanced policies that are going into effect. So as you all know, the Dan Beard Council is committed to ensuring safety of our youth members in compliance with all of the national youth protection policies. In order to achieve this, we're asking for your help. We want to implement a zero tolerance policy for expired youth protection training. So we need all of you to take an active role in making sure that all the adult volunteers in your unit stay current. And then remember that YPT has to be renewed before it expires, not after. So I would challenge each of you, go into scouting.org and check out your expiration date. Mine is in early February. And so I already have a reminder on my calendar that in January, I'm going to plan to get that training taken care of and get mine renewed. So in addition, from the reminders that all the volunteers will get from the national BSA, Dan Beard Council also sends email reminders to each volunteer before their training expires, and monthly until they get it finished. So starting in November, which will be here in just 2 weeks, we're already going to be instituting these steps. And then that should prevent or minimize the chance of lapsing membership for volunteers who let it go for more than 3 months. Please note that registration fees will not be refunded. So once the youth protection training is completed, then a new application may be filed. The fee has to be paid for the remaining of the year, and then the volunteer is able to return. So again, as leaders of the unit, we ask for your support and assistance, ensuring that all adult scouters have current youth protection training at all times. It's really critical for the future. Thank you. All right, so next, I'll just talk through briefly some resources. There is a very comprehensive Dan Beard Council website. You'll have access to this deck. We'll forward it around so you can click on that link, or you can easily find it on our Dan Beard Council site. But it's a one-stop shop for everything you need for rechartering. So you'll see your JTE forms in there, step-by-step instructions with PowerPoint, similar to what we've had in the past, a list of FAQs, a really useful national webinar recording. It's only, I think, less than 30 minutes. Was recorded in late September. And so you can go in and watch that. That'll fill you in on some of the new changes, instructions for assigning the Key 3 delegate, and then also the recording of this webinar will be on that site. So a lot of useful resources. And don't forget, you can always ask your friendly commissioner. I'm going to have Melissa take over some pro tips. We're going to have the professional scouter go through the pro tips.
All right. So one of the pro tips that I can offer is, again, looking at that auto post, or even just looking at getting things processed cleaner for you. Any paper applications that you bring into the office by December the 1st, we will make sure that those get processed in a timely manner, as long as they are correct and complete. So if they're missing information, we won't be able to get them processed. But if they're correct and complete and brought in by December 1st, then we will make sure that they get entered in time for you to be able to include them with your charter and not have to go through the process of uploading and adding them into your charter. And also allows you to potentially use the auto post feature. And so what you'll do is bring those in, and then you'll use the update unit roster button, which will also update when there's youth protection training completed by someone, if their account is linked, which we hope most people's are, or if a person registers online and that application gets approved, then once you hit the update roster, it will automatically pop in. But it's important to know that they are not automatic, so you do need to use the update roster. So I highly recommend, especially with this new system where it's all on one screen, that just make a habit of log in and then click that refresh roster button just to see if anything has been updated since you last were in the system. All right, so Joe's going to talk about what to do after you submit online, or what's going to happen.
Yep. So once the online submission is complete, then the Key 3 and the Key 3 delegates, you'll receive approval instructions via Adobe Sign. So all the items you submit will be reviewed by the district professionals, commissioners, and the registrar. You'll be contacted if there's any missing or incomplete items. So your entire charter is due December 10th. You're going to see that again in a minute. Any fees paid directly to the council must be also submitted, and approvals must be completed by this time to be counted as on time. So December 10 is the big date. And then membership cards are no longer printed and mailed. They're available to both the unit, the Key 3, and the individual member through myscouting.org. All right, so does anybody know the goal for 2021? It's a hint, it's a deadline. So the goal is 100% of all units submitting by December 10th, 2021. So good luck, everybody, and let's go after it. All right, so as we know, a good scout is always prepared. So wanted to walk through a couple of potential roadblocks that you can plan for now and hopefully make life easier once you're on the road. So first off, we already talked about this extensively, but youth protection is going to be expiring. Many expire between October to March. Mine expires in February. I'm going to have mine renewed in January. So make sure you're on top of that, accessing the information. Also, registration fees need to be collected from scouts and leaders, and they all need to be in place before everything can be submitted successfully and be complete. So remember, complete roster checks early. And then if you have any missing applications from either scouts or volunteers, get going after those, chase after them, keep a list, stay organized, so you're not rushing around at last minute. And then communication is always the key. So communicate with other units at your chartering organization and be clear about which unit will pay fees for multiple members. The charter org representative is the most common in most cases. And then finally, make sure your charter processor is registered with the correct position in Position Manager. So there's your top 4 or 5 roadblocks to watch out for. So now let's talk about JTE. So all the forms for JTE, you can find them right on our very own website, the one-stop shop for rechartering. Online submission is requested and instructions can be uploaded right at that site /recharter. All forms for JTE are due by December 31st, 2021. And remember, this is required for free advancement. Now, the very important and very popular topic, free rank advancement. So we want every single unit to earn free rank advancement. And our requirements are very similar to the past, but that key date, December 10th. Submit an error-free recharter by that date. Make sure your payment is in and received by council by December 10th. On your JTE form, we're looking for JTE bronze or higher. Must submit that form by New Year's Eve day, 12/31/21. And then make sure to call in your friendly commissioner and go through that detailed assessment and work on those challenges and plans for the upcoming year. So 4 simple steps for free rank advancement. I'll review the key dates one more time. So October 15th, that's tomorrow, online recharter system opens. December 1st, we'll have the new applications due to council. And then December 10th is the all-important charter due. So online submission complete, online approval, and payment in the hands of the council. And finally, December 31st, JTE forms done. And also make sure you have your detailed assessment with your friendly commission. All right, now we're going to open it up for any questions. First off, Melissa, if you want to handle any that you have in the chat, and then we can go ahead, and if you can raise your hand, we'll call on you, and then when you hear your name, you can go off mute.
So I just have one in question in the chat, but it's an important one. So the positions that have access to Recharter through the online system are the committee chair, the charter organization representative, the unit leader, so the Cub Master, Scout Master, Skipper, advisor, or the post advisor, and the key 3 delegate or charter organization representative delegate. So those are the only people that can actually access the roster and make changes to it, submit the information, and submit the payment. So if someone is not in one of those positions, then you'll need to make them a key 3 delegate. Don't make them a charter organization representative delegate unless you are the charter organization representative and you would like them to be that position, because it does allow more than just the charter use. So the key 3 delegate is the way to go. And then excuse me, and a follow-up question to that, I believe, was whether or not the IH is involved in the process. And the IH does not have access to the roster, et cetera, to do the charter process. But then there is an opportunity, we believe, for them to get involved at the approval point. So when the Adobe sign comes out, then that's when you can get the institutional head involved. So if your chartering organization, which most should, requires the institutional head, that's the executive officer, typically a pastor, or the president if it's a service club or a PTO, that's when you can get them involved in the approval. So if they require, or your organization requires that executive officer or IH to sign off, then you can do that during that Adobe sign process, we believe. If for some reason you don't see that, and we don't know 100% until we can get into the system once it opens tomorrow, that if for some reason you don't see that, then check with your district executive and we will make sure we can get you set up so that you can get that approval from your IH if needed. A couple other questions that have come up now. Let's see. The national video that was mentioned is on the One Stop Shop website, danbeard.org/recharter. I would highly recommend it. It's about 15-20 minutes, and it goes through step by step all the things that you can do on that single screen with the rosters. Total fees due. The fees break down $72 per youth. Registration fee to national, $45 registration fee for adults to national, $5.50 per scout or adult local insurance, which is accident and sickness insurance fees, $75 charter fee per unit, And the Scout Life subscription is still $12. So if you're talking about an individual Scout, it's going to be $89.50, including Scout Life, all in. JTE stands for, that's a great question, Journey to Excellence. And it's the opportunity for you to review what your unit is doing and how to become better in the next year, where you can improve and you get points for doing well on things. Can there be more than one Key 3 delegate? Yes, I believe you can have 3 in a unit. If someone's youth protection expires, that's a great question to repeat that. So when someone's youth protection expires now, the following month, depending on when what the expiration date is in the month that it expires, they will receive an email from the council saying that their youth protection's expired and they need to get it updated. They will then receive another email if they haven't done it within about 60 days. And then at that time, the unit will also be notified, and there'll be a written letter sent as well, giving them 30 days to complete it. So after that last 30 days, which is a total of 90 plus days since it expired, then if they have not completed it, their membership will be expired. They will not receive a refund for their remainder of the year, their prorated remainder fees. And then they would need to complete youth protection and an adult application to re-register. The question of, do all the leaders have to sign off on the Adobe sign? That is a great question. From what I understand, the unit leader and the charter organization representative needs to sign off, but we actually don't have clarification on that until we get into the system once it opens. How do you find your commissioner? That's a great question. I'm going to let you take that one, Joe.
Well, first off, you can email me and I'll be more than happy to put your commissioner in touch. Also, your district commissioner would be a great source for you to go to right in your district. But yeah, if there's any trouble, just send an email to me.
All right, do we have any live questions, not chat questions?
Yeah, if anybody would like to, I believe you can unmute yourself. So we have a nice polite crowd here tonight. So feel free if anybody has any live questions.
Why don't you go over the fees one more time of what the different adult versus youth, et cetera.
All right, so the national registration fee for 2022 for youth is $72. For leaders or volunteers, it's $45. And then the accident and sickness insurance, which is a local fee, is $5.50. The recharter fee is $75 per unit at that chartering organization. And then the Scout Life fee is $12 per subscription.
For youth and adults? Both?
For youth and adults, Scout Life is $12, yes.
Hey, I'm going to take advantage of this moment. Mr. John Dreyer is one of our fine commissioners, and he would be an excellent person if you wanted to be in touch with your commissioner. John has a very meticulous list that he maintains, and he'll be happy to put you in touch with them. Right, John?
I'm going to be out of the country for the next 2 weeks, Joe, starting Sunday.
All right. Send your emails to me.
One last thing to just reiterate, and then if no one has any other questions, we can close. But please be sure that communication with the other units at your chartering organization is going to be important. It's going to potentially save you money, or at least save your money from being tied up for a while. So if you submit a charter and use any of the online payment options and mark your chartering organization representative as paying with your unit, And then another unit also marks them as paying with their unit at the same charter org. One of those two units is going to end up eventually getting a refund for the fee, but it is not a fast process to get that refund. So you will end up unneedingly tying up some money into the ACH system, really, the automatic money transfer system. So definitely communicate on that. Also, if you have multiples in your unit, other than your charter organization rep, you also want to make sure you communicate that. The opposite can also happen, where everyone marks them as multiple, and then your charter gets held up until somebody gives the extra money to pay for the person who is not multiple, or is multiple but isn't paid anywhere. So just keep that in mind as you're working through. That's probably one of the most common things that we see, actually.
Hi, this is Matt Hickman. I have a question.
Sure.
One of the units I worked with is unit commissioner. Their committee chair had a family emergency and couldn't be here tonight. I think there's a lot of great information here. Will this be recorded?
This meeting is being recorded and will be available hopefully tomorrow, but definitely by the 1st of next week on the One Stop Shop website, danbaird.org/rechartering.
Perfect. Thank you.
I've also had questions about the PowerPoint that we have on the screen, that you'll find it in the same spot with the video. Melissa will post it.
Yeah, I will get that posted as well. I have another chat question. Do adult apps have to be updated each year, even if they were a volunteer the year prior? If you go into your Recharter and the person that you are, if the person is listed on that roster, then you do not need to get an application from them. You may need to get youth protection. It may, in a very rare situation, ask you for a background check authorization form, but most likely, all you're going to need is just to verify that they're keeping that position. The exception to that rule is if they are only listed right now as a Tiger adult partner, a Lion adult partner, or the executive officer / institutional head, and they are going to be a active registered role, meaning a den leader, a committee member, any of the roles that normally require an application and a registration fee. Does the system pick up new scout fees? I'm guessing you're saying, does it charge the $25 fee for a new registrant? And yes, it does. And the last thing is, if anyone on here is from a unit chartered to a United Methodist Church, hopefully you received a message, but there's going to be some additional slightly different things for those units to do. And so we hope you can tune in next Thursday at 7 p.m. to get those instructions. And if not, then we will make the information available to you through your professional or your commissioner. There's another question I see. Is youth protection required for Lion and Tiger adult partners? No, not if that is their only position. And that is why, one of the reasons why you can't just make the Lion partner the Lion leader without an application and all the other process, because they aren't required to have that.
Melissa?
Yes.
This is Chuck Hertline. We were emailing earlier today. I am confused on one thing, and that is when I listened to the national webinar a couple of weeks ago, they said, I thought, that you can't make any changes to the roster information in the Recharter system, like changing addresses and updating email addresses and all that sort of thing. So am I correct in assuming we have to do that in advance, and how do we do that?
That's a great question. If they said that, then I may have missed it. I thought that you could make those changes. However, if you can't do it in the Recharter system, You can simultaneously do it in the MyDOT scouting system. And again, only those specific positions can do that. And then you would just hit the refresh button to do it. We can get the instructions on how to do that up on the resource page as well, because I don't have the MyDOT scouting up right now to walk through it. But if anybody needs that, we could get it up there or walk you through it in a one-on-one.
I definitely need it because I tried to make changes to information for people. I'm the chartered organization rep for the troop and the pack. And I was not able to do it. Everything's grayed out. It won't let me make any changes. So I'm just a little confused about the whole, maybe we'll know more tomorrow when it's online with the recharter.
Yeah. I think tomorrow when we can get into the actual recharters, we'll be able to answer some of those questions better. So there is a frequently asked questions listed on the website, and I don't have them all memorized, so I don't remember if that's one of them or not. But definitely, if you don't find that tomorrow when you're able to log in, let us know, and we can get you the information on how to make it happen.
And
All
do we
right,
log
last
into?
question I see here is insurance required for the Lion and Tiger adult partners? The answer to that is no. We do not charge for Lion and Tiger adult partner insurance.
Okay.
All right. Oh, John Dreyer, you have a question?
No, she just answered them all. I just was trying to help the rest of the audience. That's all.
All right.
Get it
Awesome.
recorded.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'd like to two big thank yous. First off, a big thank you to Melissa Ford. So you claim you don't have the FAQs memorized, but the reason you did the pro tips is you are a pro. So thank you. And then a big thank you to everybody here and for everything you're doing in scouting. Let's get those units rechartered and keep the movement moving forward and building that character in the youth of the community. So thanks, everybody, and looking forward to see you next time.
Thanks, Joe.